No, Kanganmar incident happened just, I think, recently, no?
2020 May.
Okay.
Because
But
after that, Indo-China,
actually, you're talking about that. Sorry, just got missed. Yeah. It started much before, actually, 2019, beginning.
Were there any problems when you went to China?
No, not really. I think those problems are primarily more political and more kind of bilateral issues. Most of the time, the trade was going as it is, and even the COVID time, there was a lot of cooperation between the countries. And this film's subject matter is not about relationship between the countries and what we think or what they think. It's more to do with a homage to Bruce Lee, who's an international figure.
This Chinese association happened well before shoot or after the shoot?
Yeah, well before. Yeah.
During all this shooting, are there any dupes used or it's completely?
No, absolutely, it is Pooja's own stunts, because that was one of my maybe the most important requirement I had, because I didn't want to use normal feature film techniques of using dupes and VFX and creating body doubles and all that. Since she's a very proficient martial artist herself, there was no need to use dupes, and that's also the requirement.
The Bruce Lee fan film is a Bruce Lee fan film.
I'm not sure I understood the question. Is it?
Fan.
Yeah, yeah, she's playing a Bruce Lee fan in the film. Yeah.
It's
She's
not
like
a.
a Ekalavya Shisha, like him, Yeah.
It would have become an Hollywood movie, right? When
Hmm?
there was so much of effort put in,
Yeah.
it could have become Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, I think, see, the one main reason, because in India, we've never seen an Indian face actually in a martial art kind of a very proper martial art film. And since Bruce Lee as a concept itself is well known, which is the reason why it is having such a wide release in China in 40,000 screens. So I think more or less it will be taken step by step in stages to every country.
In China, it is released in Chinese language only.
I think they're doing both in Chinese language and also dubbed with subtitles.
Suppose Bruce Lee ఉన్నింటే so choice మీది you love Bruce Lee.
That's a beautiful question, actually. Yeah? He's saying if Bruce Lee was alive, would you make the film with him or you? I honestly think I'll make it with Pooja, because maybe I like women more than men. Or probably with both of them as hero and heroine.
Okay.
Wow, I would say
అంటే మాస్టర్ల ఆర్ట్స్ ఈ సినిమా కోసమే నేర్చుకునిందా లేదంటే
No, she was originally a martial artist. Her basic training was in Taekwondo, almost for more than 14 years before I met her. Almost like a school. From school, she was practicing martial arts and yoga.
On what basis you call this movie as the first martial arts movie?
Yeah,
Because
I call it
we
that,
have a Bollywood movie in 1983 which was named Karate.
Yeah.
And Vidyut Jamwal, Tiger Shroff, we have many
Correct.
stars who know martial arts. And
Yeah. See, stars knowing martial arts is very different from a martial artist becoming an actor. The point is, none of them ever took place in tournaments. They were not a part of the martial arts, whatever community.
Clarify it to,
No, I'm not saying no to that. That is one part. Let me finish the answer. Second part is, most of them, they use lot of wire work. They do stunts, going up in the air and things which no human being can actually do, because that is one kind of an action film. Whereas Bruce Lee is the only martial artist who always did something realistic, only what he can do and what you see it in real life, which is the reason I'm calling it the first martial art, because without taking the help of cinematic techniques and cinematic appliances, which is the reason I'm saying that.
does your political stance or your tweets after 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Does that affect you professionally? Because some of your tweets have been creating controversies and all about President candidate Draupadi Murmu
Yeah,
before that about Pawan Kalyan.
See, first of all, I think this post 8 p.m. is a misnomer because I put tweets all time. One, just because I'm openly say that I drink vodka, they think it is that. Because actually, when I'm not having vodka, I'm more dangerous. You know, only that happens at that time because I'm done for I'm done with my work for the day, and also I kind of update myself about what's happening at that time, so which is the reason sometimes it happens post 8 and not because of anything else. And with regard to what I tweet, I mean, as a free citizen of the country, I have my observations and comments to make on anything which is in the public domain, and which I exercise that right. Yeah.
RGV, this movie is being like dubbed in South languages as well.
Yeah.
And you have been quite appreciative of the industry, and you keep comparing with how it's better than the Hindi film industry right now. So what is it that the South industry is doing, outsmarting the?
I mean, I really don't think it's South industry as a label. I would think it's more KGF2 has done that actually. The Kannada film KGF2 is not supposed to be generalized as a South film. You know, I think see, South film taking over North is a misnomer because South, I think between the 4 languages or 5 languages we have in the South, we make nearly 1,000 films a year, out of which you're only talking about 4 to 5 films which made a mark, you know. And but the point is the unexpectedness of a Kannada film becoming the biggest hit of all time in Indian cinema history. So KGF2 is almost like a ghost now on top of Bollywood, you know. It is hovering over the thing, and yeah. So I think I wouldn't like to use the word North and South. I think it's about films which make the difference. A particular individual film, no matter which language it comes from, is what which makes the difference.
Many artists from Kannada industry are taking place in this film.
In this film, no.
What is
Because
happening in
but it's been primarily shot in Hindi. And it is not.
You have been doing promotions in India and China. So what was the response from Chinese to the movie?
See, China has got a fantastic response, which is the reason why it is releasing in 40,000 screens here.
Maybe highest for an Indian movie.
For Indian film, yes, definitely. The highest. And also I think for a debut actor, this could be the first time in the world a film is being releasing in so many screens.
Sir, what do you think about female audience for this film?
Which one?
Female audience.
I have my feeling is women will like this film more because women love to see men being beaten. I think the fact that she's laughing is endorsing the point.
RGV, given the number of the speed at which you make movies, sometimes they are termed as experiments gone wrong. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, first of all, there's no connection with the speed and the way the film turns out. See, the longest time I've taken in my life to make a film, and the most expensive film also, is probably Arg. And that is the biggest flop of my career. So I don't think there's any relation. And I took the shortest time to make a film and without any script in hand is Satya. So I don't think there's a correlation at all. Yeah.
So like, actually,
Yeah.
so you were kind of somebody who introduced a lot of people in the industry, and you know the Bhalekar, the reputation because of that. Currently, what do you think is your kind of a status, or how do you see yourself as somebody in the film industry?
I mean, first of all, I got nothing to do with the film industry. I'm a filmmaker, I'm an individualistic filmmaker. I make the kind of films I'm excited about. So I don't have any relationship to the film industry or to society or as such. Under the law of the land, whatever I'm wanting to do, how I want to live my life, and what I want to make, and what I want to say, I will do that. Yeah.
Last film, Dangerous got some problem with why
Yes,
finally
yes.
it got released or not?
No, it is going to release next month. Yeah.
So you will continue to do experimental films, or you are trying to
I
do
mean, I
a
don't know if it can be called experimental. We'll continue to do films because I think making the same kind of film all the time, that is more experimental than trying to make different films.
you have plans of doing big stuff films?
See, I don't think of it in that sense. When if the particular film requires a certain actor in the script wise and character wise, I will do that. But I don't think of it in those terms of big or small. Whatever subject matter interests me, I make that.
Also, like, when talking about the release model, you have your own channel that's quite successful, right? A couple of movies are quite released.
That's not true. See, I made some film for a certain channel, and COVID time I had just a channel for short films, like under 40 minutes, 30 minutes. Otherwise, I don't have anything.
And what was the result of that? Like, do you think
The result was very good because, but that can't be taken as a business model because of the unusual times of lockdowns and all that. So that can't be really taken as a very specific workable model. But that can happen once in a while. It is just one more device that you have.
How the COVID pandemic impacted to RGV as a film?
I mean, it gave more stories. Yeah.
ಸರ್ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಹೊರತುಪಡಿಸಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯವರು ಒಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೋ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸ್ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 50 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ.
I mean, I want to talk about that later. This is about the film. Yeah.